And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Premier Circuit Major number 2. It's Bracket Play Saturday. The Matman and Zeb back in the booth. And I'm glad to see you, buddy, and especially for this matchup that we got on the cards today.
Yeah, it's great to be here. We've had some fantastic matches already today, and of course you and I had the privilege of covering some terrific games yesterday in the day 1, but we're in day 2 where the stakes are even higher for every team competing at this stage, and it will be Element Blue versus Aspire Gaming trying to make it on to the next stage of this winners round 2 in day 2. As we take a look at the rosters now, really excited to get into this one and see what these teams are going to bring to the table against each other.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Aspire Gaming last night. They had a tough showing against Sudor, but they were able to bounce back, find that win against Legends of Six last night on the last game cap for pool, push themselves on to this bracket play Saturday, as it were. But Element Blue, our number 1 seed heading into today, Zep, they have been looking absolutely unstoppable through pool play. Aspire Gaming, they're going to have their hands full with this one as we get into it. But look, winners round 2, there are no more best of 3s. This is all best of 5s. Your favorite map, a good hard and true Vista hardpoint to get us kicked out, and then 2 high rises back to back. And if we get there, a double 6-star to close it out. Zep, I'm absolutely in love with this map set.
Yeah, getting a single double and starting off, as you said, with my favorite map mode. Don't know if I've mentioned that here yet, if anyone's been watching. Don't know if I've said it at all, but absolutely love this map mode and really excited to see what these two teams are going to be able to bring to the table in that regard. I've ranted about this map enough, so I won't go too into detail. I want to focus on what you mentioned, this double high rise, double 6-star, if of course we make it that far. Interesting choice for high rise to come in twice, and I honestly think it's going to be one of those kind of map sets where if you could do well in a Vista hardpoint, you're going to be able to take that in to the next map. And you know, I just think, yeah, whatever team wins that Vista map 1, I think they're very on the cards to be able to win that map 2 and map 3, given how these maps play. It's all about those kind of fast engagements, getting into those vantage points, and kind of those smaller, tighter maps where there's not as much places to move around. It can be very chaotic. If you survive the chaos of a Vista, you can do it anywhere as we load into this map 1.
Aspire Gaming, Element Blue, map 1 of a potential best of 5. We've already seen a couple of nades spots here on this Vista hardpoint this weekend. No nades going to be hitting there, but it's going to be the rivals MCWs, and of course that Renetti spread around in a 3-for-2 trade that does go the way of Aspire Gaming. Off the hill for now, but right back in, but it's going to be re-hit by these close spawns of Element Blue as they continuously throw bodies at this hill. Team nade in there, not going to amount to much either way, but Element Blue, they're going to be the ones that clear house onto this hill, Zep, and that'll be the good to work around over towards P2. The good side of the spawns, at least for the map of P3 and P4, do ally with Aspire Gaming, but still Element Blue has been the main one in the hill, the main one in the kill feed, and they are in the lead as of now.
Yeah, Element Blue have fantastically pushed this P number 1, and Catsy 4-0 already. The way that they push this hill is that even when they go a player down, they're always able to go in and just hit Aspire Gaming straight away, barely letting them get more than a couple of seconds, even when the hill wasn't going entirely their way. And Catsy already about to hit a cruise if they can get one more kill. And are they going to get it? Maybe just about, nearly still staying alive in hill, which is the main part, but eventually gets taken out. I do not believe got that 6-0, but it is still Element Blue on the hill so far, still controlling this game, controlling that kill feed as well. Aspire Gaming yet to really do any serious damage, as you know, Element Blue already setting up in such a way where if someone dies in the hill, they're instantly sending someone else in to pick up that time and get that trade. And the setups just seem to be far more efficient in comparison to Aspire Gaming. But it is early days yet. Maybe Aspire Gaming just taking a little bit to warm up. It'll take a little bit of time to warm up in this one. But now they're on the point looking to hit this scrap and get themselves rotated up to P3, which you can see number 3 or K7 is already rotated and ready to go for that point.
Yeah, and I mean, Element Blue has been kind of using these back half P5 side of the map to push these 2 hills, but now, it's like you said, we're going to have to focus now on kind of flipping the map on its head a little bit, getting into this back half for P3 and P4, but Element Blue doing a beautiful job at getting that nice lead early. Investment of a cruise missile here early as well from Aiden. That'll be good to open up this hill, at least onto Don. RK7 trade back Veli, though, right back onto him, and now maybe one more here onto Homicide, but Element Blue has completely controlled the kill feed and the kills right now. You can already see Aiden up to 11-2, but Veli, he'll light a couple to the grave with him there. Siski follows up for 2 of his own, and Element Blue will absolutely clean house. Nice little Sunday cleaning on a Saturday here, Zep, and they're already over almost that 100-point threshold here. Only 3 hard points in, and you know you love to talk about this Vista and its ability of chaining these hills together.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4 are just made to chain together. They've gotten 2 straight to 3, held it down, and now rotating over to that P4 where they've already gotten themselves, as you said, over that 100-point mark. And it's across the board. They're getting so many kills. They're playing incredibly well. As you said, Aiden 12 and 5, 6 key 10 and 4 on a 6 streak now and having a cruise themselves, and already used a cruise in this game. I think Element Blue going for sort of a blitzkrieg tactic at the moment where they are just bombarding the site, using everything they've got as soon as they get it, especially when it comes to streaks. They are not giving Aspire Gaming a moment to breathe, no chance to get any sort of momentum, as they are just completely choking the life out of this game. Already over 100 points in the lead. Aspire Gaming, if they can't switch on soon, they run the risk of being 50-point clubbed here, because Element Blue are playing this to perfection.
I mean, they run the risk of being 20-point clubbed if they're not able to find their way back into the hill. But I mean, it's something that you just talked about. It's that blitzkrieg kind of game flow that Element Blue is really taking to Aspire Gaming right now, and I think it all comes off the back of their gun skill right now. I mean, 11 and 6, 14 and 6 out of your 2 big slayers, and 8 and 4 respectively from Kotze. I mean, this team is just doing it at every single facet, making sure that every single one of their engagements is going their way. And I think another way too that you talk about, especially in a hard point like Vista, if you can build yourself a dominant lead early, as Element Blue has, you can essentially just play 30-30 hills for the rest of the game, and you're easily off to a 250 marker there. Element Blue, they've almost built themselves an insurmountable lead here, almost in the first set of the first rotations. And I mean, we haven't even got done with this P5. They're almost up 170 now to 12, and just constantly getting those 3 for 2, 3 for 1, 4 for 2 trades in the kill feed. They're just playing better fundamental hardpoint right now, and with the gunny to match, there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah, this is just a complete annihilation by Element Blue. They are playing this so well. You have to give so much credit to them. But I think Aspire Gaming already realized this map number 1 is done and dusted. You're not going to be able to pull this back. But what you can do now is put the markers in place to set yourself, to give yourself a better chance going forward for the rest of the series. You need to go and you need to start picking up some kills, even if you have to play a little bit selfish, sit a corner you wouldn't normally sit. Just get that gun skill going, get slightly warm, because they haven't even had a chance to warm up here whatsoever. I mean, if this goes straight to a 250 with no more time from Aspire Gaming, we've only been playing this map, what, 3-4 minutes? Like, Aspire Gaming have had no time to get into this one, and then going into a map number 2 with an S&D where Element Blue will be hot, that will also be warm, and then Aspire Gaming will be cold and, you know, freezing. Just to round out the whole temperature gauge metaphors I was going for there, because they cannot just get moving at all.
Well, let me tell you, one thing that's not freezing, cold, or anything of the sort, it is Element Blue's gunny right now, firing on all cylinders. Don is able to take out 1 in a 2-for-1 trade, but immediately Siski flies right back into the hill and is able to find a 2-piece of his own. And it's just the playmaking ability and the individual gun skill from some of these players on Element Blue, just seemingly able to find kills at will here. And you're not really playing together as a team, very much on the back foot, very much chasing the rotation. Element Blue always here, always having numbers around the hill, and you can tell as the double hit does come through, 2-for-2 trade, but Homicide already here being chowed out by multiple players, able to find 1 but not 2, and that's just the game that Element Blue is willing to play. You throw 2 bodies at 1 player, you normally are gonna get the kill, and when you got wall bangs like that, Sep, it doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, Element Blue, it literally is just a case of, you know, you're just trying to find something that they might be doing wrong. You know, I'm sitting here as a caller trying to analyze the game, provide, you know, a look in and some sort of picking apart, and you just can't. Element Blue have it unlocked. Literally everything that they are doing, they're just doing so well, to the point where you almost can't even look at Aspire Gaming and be like, hey, these are the areas where you need to improve, because it's such a domineering of performance across all areas, where even if Aspire Gaming just started doing all the right things, they're not in the positions to pick up the kills with doing those right things. So other than maybe like literally try and get more kills, there's nothing more you can say, and that sounds like such a defeatist sort of argument to make as we, you know, reach kind of the end of this game now. 245 to 31, rounding it out here with Element Blue having the perfect hold. Aspire Gaming just not able to get a look in, and sort of a very damning map for going into the rest of this series that surely must have hit the egos a little bit.
Yeah, and I know you kind of mentioned there a little bit as a color commentator, like what you're trying to point out here. And I mean, sometimes the only thing you really can point out is we might just be watching a team that has a little bit more gas in the tank, has a little bit of a nicer car, because you're just looking at it across the stats: 25 and 15, 17 and 11, 22 and 11, 16 and 12 respectively, all on the side of Element Blue. I mean, you're looking over at Aspire Gaming, 10 and 20, 10 and 21, 16 and 22. It's just not kills and KDs that are going to be able to win you respawn game modes. I think the slowdown of S&D is probably exactly what Aspire needs right now. I mean, it kind of did look a little bit through that map, as you kind of pointed out, that Aspire Gaming may have just kind of cut their losses. GG's go next. Let's just get this map one out of the head. It was just such a deep hole that was dug early from this Element Blue squad, and just not really anything that Aspire Gaming could really do on the map, constantly playing on the back foot, constantly being right behind on those rotations, and it just seemed like it was kind of spawn die, spawn die, spawn die for a lot of that map, and that can just get you in that mental blender that can be so hard to bounce out of. But S&D, high rise, slow down game mode. I think Aspire has to take advantage of this, but I mean, when you're going up against a team that's been as dominant as Element Blue was yesterday and looking like they're going to continue in today, I mean, Zep, I'm just not seeing a lot of stuff that you can do out here if you're Aspire.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if there's any mode that kind of lends itself to maybe causing an upset, it is a search and destroy. But you know, as we were talking about, through all the analysis we can provide, you know, picking apart how these teams play, sometimes you just have the very simple factor of, you know, to put it in ranked play terms, that sometimes you just have a platinum or diamond level team versus an eerie close to top 250, you know, level team, and it's as simple as that. Sometimes the levels of the players and what they're able to do on a map is just different. And I think that could be the case here. Now, maybe they could provide an upset. Maybe they could come in, sneak a few rounds, get a bit of momentum, maybe catch Element Blue being a bit lackadaisical after the ease they had that map one. There's definitely ways that they can go about this to definitely challenge Element Blue. But in terms of having enough in the gas tank to take this map and potentially in the next few, I wouldn't be so sure. But hey, anything could happen.
Hey, it is Call of Duty, and it is LAN. Homicide's going to start off with the first blood on Katsi, immediately traded back by Siski, and now the 3v3 will ensue. Just over a minute left here in this first round. Early shots there from RK7, good with the MCW. Gets the numbers game back into your favor, but I mean, just immediately trades happening all around the map, and Zep now leaving us here into a 2v2.
Yeah, it's already a kind of a good round for Aspire Gaming, being able to get into a situation where it's a 2v2, again proving that they can make a dent in a non-respawn game mode, but now being left in a 2v1. RK7 already picked up a kill, will need to pick up 2 more if they want to stand a chance of coming away with this round. And Element Blue linking together now, so they'll be able to get the trades, or the trades won't even be necessary. Element Blue getting the job done, dropping a few names in the process, leaving it in the 2v2 scenario, then eventually 2v1, but they get the job done.
Yeah, and I mean, just the hardest part for Aspire Gaming to deal with there is the fact that every time they were able to find a kill, it was immediately traded in the numbers off to the other side of the map in a different engagement. It just seemed like every time Aspire was able to find one, so was Element Blue. You get it into the 2v2, and Aiden saying hello to the casters. We'll say hello right back, Mr. Aiden. Having a good day out here, showing a little bit of, you know, a happy-go-lucky attitude, you say, out here, Zep, in the first round of your winners.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look, if anyone has the ability to feel happy-go-lucky at the moment, it is Element Blue, and the way that they're playing. Everything is just going so right for them. They haven't really dropped anything as of yet. There hasn't been a singular moment where, as a team, something hasn't gone exactly the way that they would want it to go. And now in the 3v2 scenario, that's a big kill from Ice Cubes to once again give Aspire Gaming a little bit of a chance in this round. Another 2v2 scenario, but Element Blue holding very similar positions to as they did before. And now it's up to Aspire Gaming to try and get something done as they pick up this bomb.
Oh, bomb picked up, immediately dropped by Veli, a great read. And now Homicide, he's found his way into a good position, but the problem is for Element Blue, or rather for Aspire, he is nowhere near these players. Information has been given, and now with 23 seconds left and the bomb drops, Zep, he is in a very tough position. You're stuck between a couple of MCWs here, but Homicide makes it work in the smoke, not able to find the second. Element Blue, they're close rounds that are coming down to these final few engagements, but it's still not able to find anything in terms of score here for the side of Aspire, and that's just kind of the problem they've been having all day. There's just these little flashes of success, but they're just not amounting to anything in the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely close rounds, but they also are controlled rounds from the side of Element Blue. Usually when they're finding themselves in the 2v2, 2v1 scenarios, they're the one controlling, they're the ones, should I say, controlling the top parts of that map, the center of the map, whereas usually if Aspire Gaming maybe off more to a corner or hiding in a spawn area, it's Element Blue sort of dictating the flow of the map still. I think Aspire Gaming will need to change, because unless they just get a nice two-piece in certain moments, they're not going to be able to flip those rounds into their favor.
Oh, and that's a beautiful smoke. Oh, Siski gets the smoke from his teammate, perfectly hops up the Shotzzy jump. You know that Daunt is here now. He does come away with one. The information surely given now. Daunt trapped back in this little area, has to know that he's getting pushed and will be dealt with. Element Blue, cleaner round there, gives the 3-0 scoreline. And after a 250 to 36 performance on Hardpoint, or 39, I know it was somewhere in the 30s, a 3-0 start to the S&D is not what Aspire Gaming was hoping that they would see. But for Element Blue, I mean, this is just utter domination. And I mean, looking towards them for the rest of this tournament, you have to think that this is one of the teams that we are going to be keeping an eye on to make a deep run, potentially into Championship Sunday.
Absolutely, and I just can't get over that smoke play. That smoke play towards A to allow for the hop up from underneath was absolutely spectacular, and that's just a testament to how this team works together as a unit. Now Homicide trying to play of his own, coming around low side of A. No one watching it as of yet, but maybe Vel's going to get eyes on it if the timings line up, which I think they will, and he takes out Homicide. Slightly unlucky for the side of Aspire Gaming, but also well done to Vel for making sure to keep an eye on that one. Flawless performance from him so far.
Oh, and Ice Cubes, he's seen Siski go into the elevator, but I don't know if he knows Veli is up top as well, so shots now into Ice Cube. The reach out may have been a bit egregious there, but it comes out. Veli gets the kill, and now all onto Daunt. He's made his way inside of these elevators, so a little bit of a cheeky spot, but he's still got to figure out a way to get that bomb planted. He's spotted, he's dealt with, and Element Blue, another round on the board. And we say goodbye to Daunt as he is now falling into the abyss down there that is off the edge of high-rise.
Yeah, shots fired, head slammed against the crane, and down. As many stories as you'd like, as this map and this series seems to be just slipping further and further away from the side of Aspire Gaming, who, you know, again, have shown little glimpses, little moments, gotten a couple of kills, but Element Blue have never looked out of their comfort zone, and I feel like they even have so many more strategies up their sleeve that they could pull out. It really is just a night and day difference. It almost feels like Element Blue are just sticking to what they know will work and not really doing anything too out of the bag or unique yet. Maybe even saving the strategies for those later games further on in the tournament, because as you said earlier, the way that they're playing, they're definitely going making it further.
Yeah, and I mean, they're just moving so freely right now on the map. It may get caught out. Daunt will be able to find a two-piece on the hill, but he's traded back out, which leaves RK7 all on his lonesome here. Tries to get up towards the B bomb site. Not seeing anything, though. Gonna elect to drop back around. The timing for Veli could be weird. I'm not sure if they saw each other there, but I mean, look at what Element Blue is doing. They are just making RK7 run around the map. He knows he's seeing players, but he just doesn't know where they're going. Chasing ghosts in the wind. And now a 5-0 lead here in S&D. And Zep, we didn't think it could look more dominant than a 250 to 39 performance on a hard point, but 6-0 in S&D is just about as close as it gets. Now kind of looking towards this high-rise control. I mean, I'm trying to find ways to give Aspire a little bit of credit, try to find a way that they could find their way back into this series, but I mean, we saw Aspire yesterday where they kind of struggled against the better teams, and, you know, playing teams towards the lower side of their group, they looked good, but it's just been their showing against these top-level teams where it's been they've struggled.
Yeah, absolutely, and, you know, that last round, you're chasing shadows, barely able to see anyone, needing some Oakley glasses, I feel, as just can't get eyes, can't get the vision going, just actually find out where people are going. And even 60 just having a moment here that works perfectly, getting around that corner. I mean, How do you even get through a door without being spotted? I don't know. But as this round seems to be winding down to an end, a 4v1 scenario, ice cubes hiding in the back spawn underneath in the basement. Please don't find me. But it's only a matter of time. You can only look one way and there's two to guard as Element Blue close the way in around the side. And, well, that's that. Quickest search and destroy I think you're going to see around here on this broadcast today. But again, just what a phenomenal showing from Element Blue and a dismantling of Aspire Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, just utter dominance right there out of the side of Element Blue. Gonna take us now into a high-rise control. And Zep, this one, it's been a pretty quick series. I mean, we've been up and down. I mean, total game time, 5 minutes and 22 seconds. That's gotta be a record for one of the fastest SNDs that I've personally been a caster for, even in playing, Zep. I mean, that is just utter dominance every sense of the word. 250 to 31, 6-0, and now heading into a high-rise control where we know the spawn traps can be absolutely terrible if you get put into them. We know so many things that really just kind of lean to Element Blue's favor. But before we get there, we will toss it to a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be all up to Aspire Gaming to fight back from the depths, snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, and start their reverse sweep here on a high-rise control. Don't go anywhere. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Premier Circuit Major number 2 bracket Saturday action coming at you. The Matman and Zepcast back in the booth. And Zep, I mean, this one, it hasn't been close. It hasn't been pretty, and honestly, at some points, it hasn't even been fun to watch. I'm starting to feel a bit bad. 250 to 31, 6-0, and now a high-rise control where Element Blue is looking to slam the door shut on Aspire Gaming before Aspire can even see the door. Zep, is there anything Aspire can do to bring this one back?
No. Pretty much no. I mean, look, it's a really tough ask. Look, I think if you're the side of Aspire Gaming, you just realize already you're coming against a team that's just far better equipped in all aspects of their gameplay, right? There's absolutely nothing really that you're going to be able to do to make any serious dents in this series. But, I mean, just go in and try and play the best you can, you know, maybe take a round here and there, get a couple of nice kills, set yourself up to maybe go through the losers bracket. Like, it's, you know, there's things that you can take away from this where, you know, even if this was the scenario where you're out completely after this, that you can still go back with your head held high and maybe learn something from your opposition. You know, it's the classic saying, you learn more in defeat than victory. You know, take away some gameplay tips of how to improve your game, because you're against people who I would almost say are like the masters of work at the moment.
Oh, Veli, early shots there onto Ice Cubes. Homicide as well, gonna go down, and RK7 able to find one, but now the only one left alive is his teammates have to fight off of that respawn. It is early kills here in this round, and something that I think we very much expected. Zep is RK7 going to try to make his way around. He's going to get shut down. Already a tick through on the B site. Now the double stack on. Continuous Blue in the kill feed, and Zep already what I was in fear of with this map, the spawn trap looking to be ensued from the side of Element Blue. They are now onto both of these sites. B site done, A site starting to be worked on. You can't even make it out of your spawn right now if you're Aspire Gaming. This is looking ugly. Oh my god. Veli, 3-piece, 29 to 20 on lives, 2 ticks already secured. For last tick being worked on now. You can't even make it out of your spawn. You're just getting put into the blender. And Element Blue with one of the quickest rounds of high-rise control that I think I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, you have to give so much credit to Element Blue, because I personally think if I was playing against bots, I couldn't get a round of control done that quickly. If I had them even set to recruit, I don't think it would be possible. I mean, they are just pushing up all the right lanes, getting the right kills at the right time. But what you notice as well, just because they're really good and clearly have like a better gun skill ability, they're not just 4-stacking a site and rushing straight onto it. They're still playing it tactically as they should. They're pushing forward, they're giving it a couple of seconds, they're holding the angles, then getting the kills, and then moving up. Still playing incredibly smart.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, there's nothing that you can do. Element Blue, I mean, Veli, we hopped on with him. Obviously, the Codcaster might be a little messed up, but when we were on his POV, he is 8-0. Make it 9-0 for him, as you see on the 9th streak. Yet to die here in this round, and already, I mean, what are they supposed to do here? Element Blue's got them pushed deep into a spawn trap already. Siski is starting to work on kills, and Zep, I think there's only one thing that we can do now. Let's toss it in with a listen, and let's get a listen to the comms of what Element Blue is sounding like dismantling Aspire Game.
Check. Close on us, green.
I hear you, Aiden. One shot in and one shot.
Look at the right. Green dead. Going left.
Looks like weak out left.
I can get your cross. Stay down, I have you.
I am.
He's low blue on you.
One is right.
Yeah, couple of left.
I have blue. They could be A. I have blue.
I'm on right.
Right again, weak.
He's bottom
One more.
One shot bottom blue.
Right and bottom blue.
I'm going top or paint.
He's gonna hop up there, side.
I have your help right. I'll be weak.
I'm gonna shot you from B, yeah.
Back right.
I need you back right.
Back right weak. He's like
right,
Back Kobe.
He's on point.
On B, weak. He street. Our barrel. He push up our side. Push up our side B.
Get my trade.
Our side street.
Yeah, I'm following you.
I spot out.
Okay. Our side B street. Oh, you
Good
go.
nades. Get his. I have you in. You can run it.
2A.
I'm going A. I'm leaving you.
I'm nading it. Kobe.
Nice.
Shit. Around.
I was just laying down top alley, just like getting one shot like over and over again.
My God, I mean, look, one thing I will say about Element Blue after listening to those comms, it sort of reaffirms what I've believed they've been doing throughout this whole series, is that they're giving the opposition team the respect that they deserve, you know, that they're still calming, they're still locked in, you know, they're not just thinking, oh, this is an easy day, so they're kind of putting the feet up and having a laugh. The comms are still there, and they're getting the job done, but they are cool, calm, and collected. Of course, it's very little stress on them. Things have been relatively easy, but I love that. They're not putting the feet up, they're not bragging, they're not shooting bodies, they've just come in, they're getting a job done, and they're looking good doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think calm, cool, and collected, that is the exact way to describe it, right? I mean, it's not like they're over here screaming at each other and necessarily being fully locked in as if they were playing a grand champs, but I mean, this is a team that is calculated in everything that they want to do on the map, and they're feeling good right now. You heard one of the players after Katsi, I believe, hits the double nade, just a little laugh, just, Kobe. I mean, they're just having fun right now, and they're making sure that this game is going to be surely secure. And I mean, Zep, there's just nothing Aspire can do, man. I mean, we've already got 2 ticks done on the B site. It's only 3 lives given up for the side of Element Blue right now. Veli is 15-2. I mean, make it 16-3. I mean, at this point, I mean, Aspire, we need something, brother. We need you here. We need it.
Yeah, to inspire, like if there's any time you're going to inspire the audience, maybe by making a comeback, it would be now, but look, I don't think that is on the cards. You know, Element Blue leaving the opposition feeling blue, I think, as this game is just about to go away from Aspire Gaming. They're beginning to get the ticks over on A. This B is all about gone. In fact, completely gone. Now just a matter of time. 23 versus 18. Another 2-piece towards the site. Maybe about to make it 3. Yes, indeed. They're keeping them in the spawn. They're stacking on this A point. A tick and a half gone. And I feel like this is the end game.
It surely could be. A couple of kills have to come through. Dawn is able to find them, but immediately 2 traded right on back. That tick so close to coming through. You get the late contest if you're Aspire, but you immediately get taken down. 1-for-1 trade. Hill still open. Homicide able to find one. Cruise missile back in from Veli. Able to wipe out another. Katsi, they do get pushed back a little bit here if you're Element Blue, so Aspire does have some map control, but a minute 25 to work with, and the life advantage not in your favor. Not exactly the best position for you to be in. 3 dead in the feed. Ice Cubes, the last man up, potentially the last one to fall. One last ditch effort to come through, but Siski will deal with a couple of players there. RK7 still from around the backside though, and Aspire just holding on by a thread, but I mean, the respawns are gonna get the better of them here. Only 4 lives remaining. Zep, this one's gonna have a nice little bow tied on it, and Element Blue, they should win this out 3-0.
Yeah, Element Blue look to have it done and dusted, but man, hats off to Aspire Gaming as well. Right to the death, they are just still giving it their all. And I think they're definitely going to come away from this series having learned something, having improved as a team, seeing areas that they can improve upon themselves. As, you know, they're also proving that, hey, we can pick up some kills here and there. You know, we're not complete slouches. We're going in and we're taking it to you. RK7 especially is after picking up some nice kills, and then after that nade as well. I think ultimately Aspire Gaming can recognize just the difference in skill gap that they've been faced with in this series and come away with it with their heads held high.
Well, what was a 4-11 life advantage has now been dwindled down to 3v5. So interestingly for Aspire, this is the biggest situation that they've had a chance of winning. All of a sudden, kills start to go every which way. Aspire now left into the 1v2. Veli knows that he has to get on the point, but his teammate very far out right now. Homicide has to go. He's got to touch this point at some time, but Veli able to get the kill. They avoid the disaster, and Element Blue 3-0 in the control, 3-0 in the series. It wasn't even close. Absolute domination, and Veli, he'll just pick up one more for the kill total, 25-7 to end this high-rise control out in a flawless victory. Only a 6-minute long control. I think the longest game may have been the first hard point where it went 250 to 30-1.
Yeah, and I mean, that is saying something, because it felt like that hard point just completely flew by. A complete dismantling. I mean, you have to give so much credit to Element Blue for the way that they played that game. And as I said throughout, I really am in admiration of the respect they still showed the opposition. They locked it in, they got the job done. Sometimes you're playing against an opposition where maybe things are supposed to be slightly more even. You come in, you're doing a good job, so you get amped up, you get hyped, you start shooting bodies, whatever it may be, because you're really badly hammering down an opponent. But I think very early doors, we kind of just seen the skill gap, the difference in level, and Element Blue treated Aspire Gaming with the respect they deserved. They came in, got the job done. Aspire Gaming fought to the bitter end. I think it was a very respectable game all the way through, where it was just ultimately a massive skill gap that was the difference in the end.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a couple of rounds, if you go back to that S&D, where it ended in a couple of 2v2s, 2v1s scenarios where they did potentially have a chance to steal a couple away. And even in that last round of High Rise, I mean, they fight back from 12v4 down and they end up getting it into a 2v1. So, I mean, potential there for Aspire. Like we said, when they play some of the teams that are more around their skill level, they have very good showings and very good performances. It's just going up against these top-seeded teams like Element Blue, the Houston Spartans Academy, Sudor Gaming, many others to mention. It just seems like Aspire a little bit on the back foot, and you know, time to get in the VOD room, things to look over, and like you said, hold your head up high and try to look towards that losers bracket to potentially make a run this Saturday. But Mr. Zepp, we're going to be taking it to a quick break, and when we get back, we should have another fire matchup. I'm actually getting word from our production right now. We might have a little bit of a video for you guys to watch here on the break, Zepp. So you know, the Premier Circuit, we're throwing you all kinds of videos. I know you and I, we were looking at that barbecue video yesterday. I think we were both getting a little bit hungry. Definitely some good food trucks down there in San Antonio.
Yeah, absolutely. They're getting that video prepared. And, you know, while, you know, I want to take a moment as well, you know, while we've seen some fantastic players, seen some brilliant games, I also want to just take a moment to thank you for the production team for putting this on, everyone who's working behind the scenes and bringing talent on board, such as myself and yourself and the other casters that we have seen and will continue to see throughout this weekend. It's all been put together so well. It's been a pleasure, you know, to work with everyone in order to bring you this Call of Duty content that I think has been so entertaining so far, and we're only really halfway through. We still have the whole weekend left to go through, so many brilliant games left to show, and it's just been a great event so far, and I cannot wait to see the rest of it.
Now, there's going to be great COD action coming at you guys all day long. It's Bracket Saturday to see who is going to make it on to that all-inevitable Championship Sunday. Well, we will crown a winner here at the Premier Circuit Major number 2. But Zepp and I are going to take a quick break, get a little caster switch going on as we get the players ready to set for this next matchup. Don't go anywhere. We've got more fire COD action coming at you guys in just a few moments.